Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Natasha Kirchak here with ILTV's morning briefing.
Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu is challenging his main rival Benny Gantz to a televised debate just ahead of the March 2nd elections. But the head of the Blue and White Party says he's not interested. Gantz is dismissing the challenge as a media spin and claiming that Netanyahu has been avoiding his calls for debates in the last round of elections. He says he won't work for a media spin or Netanyahu. While the Israeli Prime Minister is firing back, calling Gantz scared and questioning his ability to lead Israel if he can't stand up to the current Prime Minister. Israel hasn't had a debate between leading candidates since 1996, when Netanyahu squared off with then Prime Minister Shimon Peres. Netanyahu ultimately won that election. Televised election debates were a staple of Israeli elections between 1977 to 1996, but ultimately fell out of the favor of front-running candidates who felt they could end up being too risky. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu likely believes that having a debate right now could improve his standing in the polls, which have been continuing to forecast a political deadlock. In case you haven't been paying enough attention, the situation in the Middle East is constantly shifting, especially with Iran in the mix. So to keep ahead of these ever-evolving threats, the IDF is now unveiling new significant changes to its general staff. Among the new changes is the creation of a new Iran-focused directorate, as well as the restructuring of existing departments. And this all comes as part of the IDF's military multi-year momentum plan, which has already been approved and is set to go into effect in summer. As for the details of the plan, many questions still remain. But what we do know already is that the general staff will remain the same in size, consisting of 24 brigadier and major generals. But a new position in charge of the newly formed Iran-directorate will be included, and a committee will soon form to choose its chief. Major General Ittai Virob, meanwhile, will serve dually as the head of both the IDF Depths Corps and the military colleges, making room in the general staff for the new addition. Finally, the new Iran Strategy Directorate will be responsible for focusing solely on countering Iranian threats and not that of Iran's proxies like Hamas, Hezbollah, and others. An Israeli man is dead after his plane collided into another plane mid-air in Australia. The two twin-engine flights were each carrying a pilot and a passenger when they crashed around 4,000 feet above the Australian town of Mangalore. Thick fog is apparently the cause of the devastating accident, which has left debris scattered across the rural area just north of Melbourne. The Israeli Foreign Ministry has just confirmed that one of the 4 victims killed in the tragic incident is Israeli, and that they're working with Israel's consul in Canberra to address the case. Local police say the planes had been flying legally in the area, but they aren't sure why they ended up on the same trajectory.
That's all for now. I'm Natasha Kirchak, and see you later with our main daily broadcast.